let's move on then. L&T Tech Services is the next company on the radar. The company has entered into an agreement to acquire Intelliswift Software India Private Limited and Intelliswift Software Inc. for $110 million. To talk about this development and to understand the strategy behind it, we have with us the company's MD and CEO, Amit Chadha. Mr. Chadha, great to have you on. Thanks so much for joining in. So can you tell us what the thought process is, what's the rationale, and some of the financials as well? What are the margins of this acquired entity, and will it contribute positively to L&T Tech's margin profile?
First of all, I'm excited that this allows us to deepen our expertise and get after more than 45% of the pie, which is about $80 billion of ER&D, so outsourcing. So 45% of that is in software development and platform engineering. This allows us to do that. Two, this allows us to get after more profitable sectors, as in fintech and retail, which we did not have in the past. Gets us to $2 billion faster. Addition to that, I had committed at different times that our aspiration is $1.5 billion by March 25, allows us to do that. Now, in terms of margins, one, we had committed to 16% levels in the current financial year, which we will achieve, and give us till January for us to come back and lay out the path for the rest of it. Because, of course, this is an all-cash deal, and we will have a little bit of a depreciation charge or amortization charge that will come in. So you will have to allow us January to be able to come back to you to lay out the plan there.
Fair. That's a fair ask. We can wait for a couple of months. But just basic question, this new entity, it will be margin accretive. Is that the right way of looking at it?
I will come back to you in January about this, if that's okay, because we are still working through it. There is 2 or 3 things that are playing, and the reason I'm saying that is, number one, see, the focus has been to try and get more market share, be able to get into areas which are high growth, to be able to pivot on growth. And we have talked about this in the past as well, that we are moving to be a growth-oriented organization. Number 2 is that our organic business continues to operate, and we have a playbook to operate at that 17-odd% EBIT levels. And we have a playbook that allows us to do that. Now, we've made investments in the first half of the year. We have talked about the fact that we will come back in Q2 and Q3 and Q4. You will have to let us go through that trajectory. And, sometime in January, we will let you know as to how the trajectory looks for in FY 26.
Amit, could you tell us what is the historical growth rate of Intelliswift? And in terms of revenues, why is the revenue decelerated? Because, I mean, if it's targeting fast-growing areas, shouldn't revenues be expanding quickly?
A couple of things here. Number one is that, Prima, this is actually a high-growth area for them. They've done some switch in and out in terms of what they've been able to do with clients. In fact, some of their relationships that they decided to exit, which were smaller ones, etc. So they are now, if you look at it, 80% of their revenue is from their top 25 accounts, which have been there with them for more than 5 years. 4 of 5 hyperscalers are customers. In fact, 3 of those hyperscalers are customers for us as well. And given the size, which is 10 million plus accounts that they've got, in addition to ours, will be able to immediately help us in terms of growing. I do not want to pass judgment or comment on what they did in the past, but I have met the leadership team. We have got details, we have taken feedback from our own customers, and they seem to be in that spot where they are poised for growth. In fact, I will go out again on and say that I'm confident for the plans we've created right now that we should be able to double Intelliswift revenue in about 3 years' time.
Okay,
and
all right, so
we've seen that kind of growth for ourselves with the hyperscalers and in a similar market that we are addressing as well.
Okay, so you're looking to double Intelliswift's revenues over 3 years. We've noted that. Let's talk about this year, because your revenue guidance is about 8 to 10% growth. Now, with the acquisition coming in, will it add to this guidance? Basically, will the revenue be higher than your guided band?
Our pipeline, like I talked to you in October, remains robust. In fact, we've been spending time across Europe, across the US geographies, And we are on track to be able to deliver our guidance that we had, our organic guidance that we had talked about, as well as the margin trajectory levels we had talked about.
Amit, last quarter, you guided for tech to do much better in third quarter, sustainability to do well, mobility to be muted. Could you tell us how is the demand situation panning out? And just your thoughts on the US election outcome. How is that likely to be a factor at the margin?
So rather than commenting on the quarter, what I would tell you is that definitely with the elections behind us and the results clear, there's a lot more certainty in the environment. There are three areas that we are continuing to see demand across US and Europe. One is automation, as well as a lot more regional supply chains coming up, and therefore work for us in the sustainability sector, which is our sustainability vertical segment. We are seeing continued demand and deals in the consolidation, vendor consolidation area for mobility. And in the tech space, we continue to see spends expanding in AI, software, compute, and storage, as well as software. And all these three bode well for LTTS. In fact, we are on track to deliver what we had committed to for the quarter, as well as going forward into the year. So I would, if you want one word, I would say cautiously optimistic, CY25 being a better year than CY24.
Okay, so the next calendar year is going to be better than the current one. That sounds good. And now that you're saying that there is more certainty in the environment, should we expect slow-moving deals to pick up? Will decision-making be faster?
You should expect that, and it may start happening sometime, some of that in November, a lot more in Jan, Feb, as you look at it. The good news is that our financial year only starts in April, so we will get advantage of the tailwinds coming in from there.
Okay, all right, got it. Amit, we'll leave it there, and good luck with assimilating this new company into the fold. And of course, we look forward to another round of conversations after January. Like you said, you'll have more clarity on the numbers by then.